Welcome back. Coming up, we have CHATBOX. Stay with us.
Welcome to another episode on CHATBOX. And this time around, you don't want to miss whatever we're going to be discussing today because it actually concerns me and you that is watching this thing right now.
Hello all.
You just have to, Jay. You just have to. She's trying to give you chill vibes.
I hope you all are doing well this very fine day. Well, welcome, like she said, welcome to CHATBOX on Signature TV. It's a pleasure having you join us for another interesting conversation as usual.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm your beautiful host, Uchenna.
And that's me, your baby girl, Queenette. Welcome. I have an interesting guest.
Yes, so a very wonderful,
very demure, dressed in white. You actually mistaken for a reverend father. But don't worry, we've got you covered. He's not. So over to you, sir. Introduce yourself.
All right, my name is Uchendu Samuel Chukwubikem. That's my Igbo name. I love that name so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Are you sure you're ready for this conversation?
I'm ready.
I was about to ask him that. I want to ask, are you sure you are ready to talk? Because we are going to give you back to back.
No, it's actually a tete-a-tete.
I'm ready.
So there's this thing that's been striking me into our parents, you know. They are highly opinionated.
They worry. That's the summary of the whole thing.
They are highly opinionated when it comes to teenagers, youths, and all.
Young adults, yeah.
They always give us the impression that they see us that we've not grown.
Like we don't know anything.
We don't make decisions on our own. We don't know anything. And they tend to impose their lifestyle, their education, their upbringing,
their opinion,
everything on us. So we're going to be discussing that. You know, we're going to be discussing that in so many diversities, a lot of things, marriage, career.
Yeah, but for this particular one, we're going to be looking at
career. Yeah. Of course, we'll be doing that with Mr. Uchendu. That say he likes that name so much.
He likes his Igbo name. You know the year word.
I like my Chukwubikem name.
Okay, Chukwubikem.
Because my father actually gave me that name. Uchendu is my son.
It's his surname.
You are forgiven.
All right, so let's start from our guests.
Yeah.
So please give us your. Want to hear your thoughts first before we start to talk. You know.
Wait, let me ask you.
What do you think? Okay.
Was it a time in your life when you were growing up as a teenager, youth, like early 20s, that your parents tend to impose some kind of lifestyle on you?
Yeah, I experienced it. As I get older, I begin to realize that it was not necessarily my parents' thing. It was just my thing. You know, there is an age they call rebellious age. That age when you become a teenager, as you're about to cross 18, then you're about to finish secondary school. So you begin to imagine that you are powerful. You know what actually happens? Your brain capacity begins to grow. And you begin to have ability to understand many things. At that point, you need somebody to direct you.
Yeah, of course. That's what
I'm waiting for him to land.
Okay.
Yeah,
I want him to land.
But the problem we have then is that a lot of people direct us. Our people that we are at the same age with, they tend to influence us. The social media, because those days when I was young was when Nigerian movie was trending, and I remember clearly we watched movies a lot, and we begin to, pick one or two informations from those movies, and we begin to put them in our lifestyles. You watch movies where criminals are applauded. You watch movies where occultism is trending.
Yeah.
And you begin to enjoy the lifestyles of those occult people. And you want to imbibe them. You want to actually act. You know, there's one thing about what you look at. Over time, they store in your mind. And you will not know when you discharge.
Yes, that's true.
So we experienced it. So now that I'm a parent, I see younger generation, I start laughing.
Because I did this thing when you were young.
Yes,
the thing is, it's actually an endless cycle.
It is.
Yes, but look at he has answered, his experience, as a growing young adult.
Yeah.
But like we said earlier today, we're looking at the career aspect of it. And, when parents try to tell you what to do, or like try to dictate your life, or what your life should look like, what your life should look like, what your life should be like.
Yes.
To them, that is a great idea, but to you, it is not at all. So what was your...
The truth is that every good thinking parent wants to direct his or her child, and to him or her is a norm. Because you're looking at somebody that is very fragile. A
young adult.
Yeah, very fragile.
A teenager, young adult.
Yes. In our adage, they say no matter how tall. Can you remind me? Yes, no matter how tall.
This adage has
I think the thing is, parents use this adage a lot.
Even when it's needed.
I don't know if it's emotional blackmail.
No, it's not.
Because but that's how it looks like now. Because every small thing, they throw one adage that will make you look. Start thinking to yourself, okay, so I don't have a brain. I don't understand. I don't have.
Even talking about that career thing here. Our parents have this whole thing in them that, let's assume he was supposed to read.
Let's say he was supposed to read engineering or something, like and then maybe something.
You tend to grow and you want to be an actress or an actor. You understand?
Yes.
It's your passion. And of course, there are courses for that. You agree with me? But your parents will impose it on you to make you see that thing you want to do is of no
use.
Like, I don't know the word.
Well, but wait, let me comment. It's not always the case.
Well,
let me explain.
Most times.
Yeah, but we have to really talk about it. There are courses, there are things you want to be that are similar. And there are some ventures that if you venture into, you may go astray. From the point of view of every balanced parent. If, for instance, you want to be an actress, just an actress, and you look at the evolution now, that most actresses, they hardly marry. Even when they marry, they break up. Your parents may prefer you become a TV presenter. They are similar. I don't know if you understand. They all involve acting.
That is particularly not a valid reason.
No, I think it is. You know why? Your family has history. And your parents don't want anything that will damage that history. And let me tell you something, don't be offended. Even you that is young now, that wants to feel like you belong, once you feel you are very energetic, you feel you can't be broken emotionally, there's an age you get to, you will just realize. Yeah. At that age, even me, I experienced it. There's this girl those days you may like. I don't want to talk about my life. Okay. But you may see a girl you like those days, and the girl, because of her attitude, she's sharp, she dresses well, you say, I must marry this girl. And your parents are looking at this girl, look, this girl, forget it. And your father may even have life experience about a girl. I'm telling you, see this girl, it will never happen. And you may not even know the reason.
Why I'm saying it's not really a valid reason is because I have this feeling that most parents, especially African parents and Nigerian parents, they have this thing of what will people say?
Society.
Do you get what will society now in their mind?
Do you know
in their mind they feel like my child is supposed to be like this. Do you understand? My child is supposed to be in this profession.
Yes.
Or maybe to them, maybe they see other people's children who are engineer. Maybe they're answering mama engineer or papa doctor.
They don't want you to make the mistake they made of reading that engineering.
Exactly. I'm coming to that.
It's not always the case.
I'm coming to that. So
I will.
They have this idea of maybe wanting to have a doctor or an engineer in the house, and then you come and say, oh, I want to do theater arts, or I want to do what are all those courses that are really not so popular among Nigerian parents? You know Nigerian societies have courses that are popular, and then there are the not so popular. They are not.
No, I think
them. It's
don't
like,
be offended. There's a way you are driving this. If I allow you, those people watching you may have a wrong conception of it. It's not as if parents want to lord it over you. They are watching you.
Well, most parents, well,
No,
not most,
it's-
not most, but
I'm a
some
parent.
parents. No,
No, look at
it's not a general thing.
Yeah.
But
There's this thing here. Once they give birth to that child,
Mhm.
if the pikin never grow,
they don't
this
already.
one is going to be a doctor.
And you know, and
This
you know,
one is
another
going-
thing.
Okay, let me ask you a question. When a child grows up and say he wants to, or he or she wants to study theater art, the question is why? You see that some
Okay,
of them,
the child that wants to study medicine, why?
the why is very necessary. Even the child that wants to study medicine should have the why.
Why?
Now the question is,
Exactly.
if you have a child that has been intelligent from childhood, exhibits the characteristic of a science student, all of a sudden wakes up because of association with friends and say, I want to now study theater art because she likes Emekike. You know, during our time, this were the days trending. And if you dare allow that child to make that mistake, in the future that child will blame it on you.
The thing,
You know, these things are easier said
The
than done.
thing
These
now is
children
that
of these days, like I have children. Today they tell you, I want to do this one. Tomorrow they say, I want to do this one.
they are still,
Well,
they are
I'll
still
just
quite,
start
they are
laughing.
still quite young. But the thing is, it's not even a situation of because of friends or because of this thing. Like there are some parents that can see that this child is arts inclined. Like this child really does not even know chemistry, does not even know anything about
No,
mathematics.
I don't support
and
such.
And then because you want that child to be a particular thing. And another thing with some parents is that they want to live their lives through you.
That's what I'm trying to tell
So
you.
maybe because they did not achieve a particular thing that they wanted
They will not
to
want
achieve,
you to
they will not
achieve.
want you
Well,
to come and do
well,
that for them.
our conversation is healthy. You don't expect me to say I'm giving my support to such a parent. But what I'm trying to say is that children too can be so outrageous. Some of them don't really know what they want in life. And a parent, why you are a parent is that you have to play that role of directing your child. I know that no matter how you look at it, there will always be a disharmony in family. There will always be a situation whereby the child at the rebellious age will always have disagreement with the parents. Yes, I know. The child will go this way, the parent will go this way. But what we are looking at the long after the whole argument, are we able to come to a meeting point? So that meeting point is what I'm interested in. But whether children can misbehave in something, they can be very misbehaving.
You know, another thing is sometimes I feel like the manner of approach is very faulty.
I think
And I've also
and
and I've also come to realize that most times what causes this problem when it comes to career between parents and children is most times it's not even the fact the not wanting them to do something. It's the way you say it. So it's not sometimes it's not even the problem that is the issue. It's the way the problem is being presented. You understand? So it's kind of like the child or the young adult, because the thing is that as an adolescent or a young adult, I think it's a thing with puberty generally. This rebellion, this wanting to be independent suddenly comes in, and then some things your parents say you definitely challenge some certain things. And then parents on their own now, I don't know whether it's that they are not understanding, or sometimes they act like they were not teenagers before. Because the thing they fail to remember is that them too stress their parents. But the way they will now make it look as if you
can't even compare the parents of today to the parents of yesterday. Let me put it that way.
How?
You know, today parents are being more responsible. If you look at it very clearly. You know, during our time, you just wake up, you go to school. Nobody gives you lunchbox. Nobody does all these things for you. You do it yourself. In fact, during our time, you look for your school fees and pay. So yet our parents had a lot of influence on us. And don't forget that some of our parents were not quite educated. Now you're talking about parents who are educated like you, their child. In fact, some of them are professors and they are telling you, look, my daughter, who do you want to be? You say you want to do theater. And the parent is looking at you and saying, all your life, you are not social. So how do you intend to do this theater art?
I'm not saying is the foreseen eye of that.
Yes, now parents, yes. For instance, let me
no, it's fact that maybe the thing they're about to do is not society.
No. No. The problem we're having with children these days is that they are occupied with social media. They are occupied with trivial things.
You know, social media suffered.
Social
media has suffered.
Like I conversed with a young chap recently, and he keep on telling me what he wants to be. He wants to go into movie. And I asked, why do you want to go into movies?
Yeah.
And he will keep telling you because they make money. So you see,
don't they?
yeah, such a person now going into such thing, when he stays there for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, doesn't make money, he becomes frustrated. So there is no drive, there's no passion. He's not wired in that way. He doesn't have the energy to do it. And you know one thing about everybody wanting to be a star, wanting to be popular now. You know, everything is centered. I want to be popular. I want to be known. You know, thinking that when you become popular, you no longer suffer emotion. I look at this matter, I laugh. I played organ in the church for a very long time. Played in a place where people are very populated. And I discovered that the most emotional people in life are people that everybody is looking up to. Number one, you don't even have your freedom. But so these children who everybody now wants to be in the place of entertainment because they feel there is money. Because anybody you ask say there is money.
The thing is that this thing is not just entertainment. I think it's maybe because you spoke about theater.
Let's talk about.
But there are other
students.
Like which ones?
Do you know the thing is?
I will give you one.
Give me an instance.
Some Nigerian parents or some African parents don't even want their children to be anything arts because they feel the idea is that arts people are very unserious. And you know, in secondary school that time, you have science 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, humanities 1.
No,
and the thing is that because everybody's parents or everybody, doctor, lawyer, med lab, doctor, med lab, this one, that one, then you now come to arts. Yeah, it's just one class.
Thank you very much.
No,
and then
no, I understand this aspect. Naturally, people who are not from a very prominent background wants to break through, wants to break out of poverty.
But don't you
And they believe, wait, I'm coming.
Yeah.
And sometimes they believe that the only way they can break out is to have their children do courses that are reliable.
Now that is the thing.
I'm coming. But allow me to
reliable.
Finish. They want to study courses that are reliable. I'm coming. And some of these things you are mentioning that seems like talent are not reliable, especially in this part of the world. Remember, this thing is more among Nigerians.
In this part of the world,
even medicine, more among
medicine.
Thank you. So as a parent, you're not only looking at the temporal happiness of your child, you're actually looking at the continuity of the child's life.
So are you saying that
are you going to leave your child for your life? No, it's your child.
Very important. Listen, let me tell you something. So when we are growing, we had things we loved so much. Like me, I love the organ so much. I told my daddy, I just want to be playing organ. My father was looking at me and asked me, look, do you have mental problems? Do you know you have children? And besides, I was tilting towards the church, playing it. My father was now saying, how do you hope to derive a living by doing this thing? I was saying, God will provide. My father, being an older person, looked at me and said, my friend, since you are equally talented in the engineering field, take this your engineering more serious. Take this your organ as a hobby. If possible, keep it aside. You see, getting older. I'm coming. Allow me to finish. Getting older, I appreciate that talent. But that talent has been a very serious problem in my life. So till tomorrow, I try to visualize my father. And I say, this man was telling me truth all along. Now, if I have a child, let's take this matter serious. Do you think I will allow my child to make the same mistake? I'll go to any length to make sure my child takes up a career that are reliable.
Excuse me, that is good. So
it's not about, both of you are equally young. It's not about saying these things. You may be saying it to sparkle the younger generation. No, I'm saying you're wrong. I want to be very direct. The thing is that I want to equally encourage parents to take these children serious as they are growing. Make sure you support them and help them.
You see, that's the word I was looking for. That support.
No, support them.
I want to kind of deviate a bit. You know, sometimes the reason why it seems like the Western world is better than we are,
they have more opportunities.
Is because hold on. Let me say what I want to say. The reason why it feels like the Western world is better than we are is because they have room to accommodate whatever you want to do. Do you understand? And their education system is such that, like this, let me use his story as an example. Now, you like to play the organ, you like musical instruments, and you're also good at engineering. Now, in their education system, they have majors and minors. You can be your parents might not want you to go into full-time this thing, but because it's something you like, they can say, okay, we will support you. Go and do engineering as a major. You can take a minor in so and so. That way you get to still do. Hold on, let me learn. Maybe you were talking since. Hold on, let me learn. Thank you. So now,
but while you are finished up, don't forget that.
Hold on now, Farabale. So you see, that makes the person be able to accomplish two things at the same time. Now, unfortunately, our education system here is not like that. However, if you as a parent, you feel that, oh, this musical instrument thing is not going to put food on the table of my child, that does not mean that you completely kill the idea and tell the person, keep it one side. It doesn't make any sense.
I still want to talk about that. If it's possible to even reduce that child's interest in that.
That's
particularly if you are particularly if you're from a kind of family that is decent and want to maintain decency.
So
don't forget that this music thing now in Nigeria, or let's say in Africa, is only promising if it's a secular music. And let me finish. And if your child is so interested in that area and has other talents, it's always good you help that child to improve on the other talents. Because number one is that the real music industry, now you and I know that no good parent from no good family want their child to be part of those things.
I beg
number one is that 90% of them,
differ.
No, let's be very sincere.
I beg to differ. I highly do beg to differ.
The truth is that 90% of these people have a questionable lifestyle. And not only that, let's look at the system now. Majority of our actors gets married today, tomorrow they break up.
I mean,
excuse me. First of all,
their marital
life is not a yardstick.
It is because it's an industry. If 90% of people in an industry,
as a matter of fact, it is actually nobody's business.
It is
what their marital life is like, because there are still people that are not in the industry that are getting married today.
Why is it that we have more percentage in that age?
Because you are hearing their story now. Because you are hearing their story. That's why.
I will just tell you one truth. There are talents that should just remain hobby, and there are talents that should be filled.
But do you know that this whole professional courses, like we said, Nigeria, is not really promising? So when you impose that child to go read medicine, nursing, engineering, and
it must.
That's why the industry is saturated.
It must not be
everywhere.
It must not be nursing, medicine, engineering.
But that's what it is.
Even in that acting, there are people who handle camera.
Okay.
There are people. There are people who write stories. There are people who do things that seems more decent.
So if your child, has flair
if your child from childhood was displaying a great talent
in acting,
and this your child has capacity to, if your child can write music, if your child can write, your child can choose a middle ground. Oh, you must not go towards those directions that has negative impact on you.
Before we continue with this conversation, I would like to tell our viewers to make sure to join this conversation in the comment section. Let us hear your opinions and your thoughts on this particular, because obviously we are already butting heads. Right? So let's hear your own thoughts on this in the comment section. So let's get back to the conversation.
Yes.
So the truth is that the child is your child, your continuity. And there are things that if you see in the future, you will not be happy. And you will not like your child to cry in the future and tell you, Daddy, why didn't you direct me properly? These are things that parents look at. And these things are very sensitive. I'm not of the opinion that my child must be a doctor, must be an engineer, must be this and that. But there are things that if you choose now as your career, considering your country, because you have to consider every factor in life.
Of course.
Like in abroad now, those countries you are mentioning, even playing Kanta can make you a millionaire. No, go come and play counter Nigeria and become a millionaire. I don't even understand.
Yeah.
So
Like this, like
I have a point. I have a point to make, right? They say something about negatively affecting.
yes, there are things that if you are involved in will affect, not only affect you, will affect your family. Let me give you an instance. If you have a mother who is a divorcee, do you know that it could affect you getting married?
I mean, that's what counseling.
Especially if you have it in 2 generations. You know, something when younger generation talk, they say it doesn't matter what other people's opinion, doesn't matter as long as I'm happy. That happiness can be temporary when the time comes. You just see how temporary that happiness is. You just discover that look, you will, in fact, you will just start crying, especially if your parents are no more. You said, my daddy told me this. That is why every parent is trying to correct you with every measure, every energy.
Like I said earlier,
It's not parents not having their opinion, right?
the manner is the way.
The manner is 2 ways. The manner is 2 ways.
Instead of correcting or bringing them, they criticize.
They only criticize when they try to correct and
Most of them,
no. Let me tell you something. Well, I don't know. I don't know how some parents. No, sometimes parents speak that way to be even to know if you are even serious with what you want.
No, do you know that thing alone? Do you know that thing alone?
It's not true.
Can kill that.
No, I think the problem.
Rejection and neglect.
No, I had this problem growing up. I always think my parents are different from me until when I grew up. I think that's another thing we need to tell our children. We need to reorient them. We need to make them understand that nobody can love you more than your parents in this world. That's the number one thing a child should. When you understand it, it will make you to humbly sit at the feet of your parents and learn. Let me tell you something. You know, a lot of parents died crying, and they keep saying, my child will not experience this thing I've experienced. So that is why even those people who practice certain religion, where you still pray to your ancestors, there are prayers you make. That is those who practice it. I'm not saying it's evil, I'm not saying it's good. We are not talking about religion. They try to pray and say for the unfulfilled destiny, blah, blah, blah. Those things they are saying is to calm. They believe that those people who have lived are still alive. So they look for a way to calm them down. What I mean in a nutshell is that, look, your parents will not be happy wherever they are if you're not happy. As long as they can see you. I mean, the only happiness left for a man who is getting old is the happiness of his child. That's the truth. So when parents are taking measures to correct you, children should understand that their parents love them. And in that understanding, you humbly pay attention to what they are trying to transmit. And by paying attention, no, it's 2 ways. And by paying attention, it will help them use that love you are expecting. Because sometimes the problem we have is that children are so interested in love. They want empathy. They want their parents to understand them. But sometimes they fail to understand their parents. These are 2 ways. I don't know if you get it.
Yeah.
I advocate for empathy. I have children. As a matter of fact, my wife was talking about how when they were growing up, their experiences, and my children were saying their own. Me, I was talking my own too, because when I was growing up, our parents were strong, and now we are trying to be mild. But that doesn't remove the place of discipline.
Yes, I think the thing is that I actually agree with you when you say that no parents will actually be happy seeing their child unhappy. Do you understand? Sure. Because of certain choices they make. But at the same time, I feel like parents. I think the problem here is that parents how they best know how to. It might not be the best way, which is what leads to the conflict with them and their children, particularly when it comes to career. You understand? So the thing is that their methods might not be the best. That's what, in fact, most of their methods are not the best, because when they cause fights, now the way where they take.
But the child who is saying that the method of parents is not best,
I feel,
don't be offended. The child who is saying that the method of parents is not good, have never been a parent.
That's the thing. That's why I said they are parenting how they know, how they best know how to. It might not be the best.
Okay, I guess.
But parents have their own word. The child have his own word. They should have an understanding.
That's
there
the thing.
There should be a room whereby I want to listen to you. Why do you want to do this thing? What's your interest?
And compromise.
I enjoy the fact that you spoke as a parent. I think your parenting is actually good.
Yeah.
You're putting a blend to it, right?
You're not as
But
rigid.
You're not as
rigid.
Yes.
So I think we can understand you.
Exactly. So I think we've come
Depends
to
how
an
you
agreement,
classify
right?
it.
Yes,
We've come to an agreement.
Yeah, we have.
Compromise. Parents, children, compromise.
Tending to listen to your
Yeah.
child, tend to understand them. So,
all right. Thank you guys for watching. See you. Bye.
Welcome back. We've come to the end of tonight's show. My name is Quincy Roland. Of course, tomorrow we're going to see you same time, same station.